Hey guys, I'm Trevor Chikuti from Spinewise, and today I really want to talk to you about intermittent fasting and why you may not cope with intermittent fasting, because we're seeing more and more people coming through our office doing intermittent fasting who are just not coping with it and falling apart. So I want to talk to you a little bit about why it may not be right for you. So let's understand the process of intermittent fasting to begin with. So what it basically is, there's a period of a day that you don't eat food, and then a period of day that you do eat food. And this has been part of many religious cultures for thousands of years who do this through various aspects of it. And to some extent, it's also been part of human existence as well, where food was abundant in some seasons and not in others. There are some very big differences in modern day lifestyle now that haven't been in place in the years gone by, and one of them is stress. So what ends up happening is when you fast for a period of time, whether it be 12, 16, 14, whatever it is, hours, during that time the body has to produce calories itself. And it really has two main ways of doing that. Number one is to release stored glycogen or glucose from your liver and your muscles to enable your glucose levels to be maintained, or two, to break down either fat or protein and convert it into glucose and into energy, or what we call ketones, in order for you to keep functioning. And none of those are really a big problem for us. We know the brain functions quite happily on ketones, and so does the rest of the human body as well, pretty much. So we can do that without any real issues, and most of you probably have heard of this thing called ketogenic diets, which is what that's all about. But I want to talk to you about one thing in particular, and that is that if you're someone who has a problem really metabolizing fat and you can't burn fat properly, especially converting what we call long chain triglycerides into energy directly, and this can come from a whole lot of different reasons, but if you're someone like that, then intermittent fasting may not be for you. So what tends to happen with these people, from what we see, is that you'll become more and more dependent upon protein degradation to maintain your glucose levels. So this basically means the body starts breaking down muscles, tendons, these type of things in order to get the protein out of it, to liberate that into the bloodstream to allow you to still keep functioning. And that's a really, really big problem. Normally what should happen is our adrenals kick into gear, which is why the stress and not having stress is so important for this as well. But adrenals kick into gear, activate a whole lot of different processes, and we liberate stored triglycerides, usually from around our waistline and around our liver, into the bloodstream, which basically then allows the liver to convert that through a process known as beta oxidation into usable forms of energy. In some people, we have genetic defects that don't allow for the transport of these fats into these cells to allow them to do it. In other people, we've had such a high level of insulin resistance that fat metabolism has been shut down so significantly that they're not capable of doing it. And other people, we have stress-related disorders that are affecting their adrenal function and other functions, which basically means they don't activate it properly. So there's a whole lot of different reasons why this could take place. But whenever you're starting any form of intermittent fasting, it is really, really important to do blood glucose testing. It's the only way that you're going to know. And blood glucose monitors, where you do a little finger prick test, are now very, very cheap and available online very easily. And after you've done a fast for a good number of hours, what you want to do is just check your blood glucose levels. And ideally, they should be somewhere between 4.8 to 5.1. If we're dropping into the low 4s, you may have a problem. If you're dropping into 3s, you really do have a problem. And intermittent fasting isn't right for you. Now, that doesn't mean it isn't right generally, it just means it isn't right now. There are other things you need to sort out before you go down that path. There are things you can take to help stabilize that, but it's best to deal with these things one step at a time, or otherwise at least do it under some form of healthcare professionals' observation and guidance to make sure that you don't go hypoglycemia, because hypoglycemia, where your sugar levels are too low, is a very big problem and can lead to a lot of issues, including brain orientated problems as well. So that's the take on intermittent fasting to begin with. If that is you and you do need help, please just post up below. I'm happy to give you some advice on what you should do and how you should go about doing it, or message me personally. I can talk to you about it one-on-one in regards to that. Anyway, guys, I'm Trevor Chikuti from Spinewise. Welcome to our Wellness Wednesday for 2025, and we'll catch you in the next vid. Bye for now.